Engage.
Welcome back to Georgia Peachcast, coming to you from Cherokee County, Georgia. This is Pat.
And this is Greg.
Okay. A recent poll had a bump up amongst Latino voters for Trump. It seems to be because of the captivity of Maduro. And for the Cubans, it may be the fact that they hope of trying to get Trump to take over Cuba. A couple of reminders. Trump didn't take out Maduro because he was a bad guy and it would help the Venezuelan people. He basically had been saying that he wanted the Venezuelan resources, mainly oil, which he says will take the money from it one way or another. Always follow the money. With Trump and his family, the same goes for the Cuban Trump. He'd love to build a casino in Cuba, as the mafia did back in the late 50s and 60s.
Yeah, he wants to put another casino into the ground.
Yeah.
Like literally, financially.
Yeah. Put the family to work building and running casinos down in Cuba.
Yeah, that are going to fail.
Yeah, like the ones that he did in Jersey. Yeah. Anyway, okay. You had something to say about ICE, or
just to jump off one point on what you said about the money, like follow the money, right? The when it comes to Trump, you always follow the money.
Oh.
That tells you everything.
Everything.
And in the case of the Maduro oil, he set up a numbered account in Qatar to hold that money.
Yeah.
Guess who's going to have access to that account? It won't be the American people. It's going to be Trump and his cronies. So this is wholesale theft using our Defense Department, our men and women in uniform, as his warriors, as his mercenary army, so he can steal from other countries. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You know?
And we didn't even laugh about him wanting the Peace Prize.
Yeah. This is the president of peace. It's the president of large pieces of crap. That's what it is.
Anyway.
And so, it's really, really important for us to realize that that's the reason that he wanted to be in there. Two big reasons. One is the money. The other is to stay out of jail. And he'll do anything to do that because he knows if, the Dems take control of the House, he will be impeached in the House. Whether or not that carries through the Senate, that will also depend on the elections coming up.
And as soon as he's out of office, he's going to get arrested.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to go to jail, which is why we haven't seen the Epstein files.
Yep.
Okay? They're being covered up because he's all over them, and so are too many powerful people on both sides of the aisle. Okay? And so, that's why this ICE thing is so egregious, obvious, and deliberately focuses on Democratic places. Because he doesn't want anybody to catch him with his hand in the cookie jar. Be that the cookie jar of young girls from decades past, or the cookie jar of the billions of dollars he's making and stealing from us, the American people. All right? So by this time, everybody in the nation should know about Alex and his just disgusting assassination on the streets of Minneapolis this past weekend. I cannot tell you how my gut is churning from watching those videos. And to have the administration mere minutes later, not even an hour later, or within 2 hours, come out and malign that patriot, that wonderful human being whose caring for our veterans was his primary goal in this part of his life. And by all accounts, from everyone he knew, was, a hero, a quiet, upstanding person who just wanted to help people. And you saw that in the videos. The last thing he did was ask that woman if she was okay. That's the last kind thing he did. Mere seconds before he was murdered in front of all of us.
And how many times? 10?
They fired 10 shots.
Did I read?
At least 2 shots from behind into his back as he was kneeling on the ground with pepper spray in his face. And then the other 7 to 8 were fired by the people standing around him.
Did I read this morning that it was they've now said it was out of two guns?
2 different assailants at minimum, yes.
Yeah.
And so, this cannot happen. This is like the Edmund Pettus Bridge. This is like the just most egregious assault on our freedoms as Americans. And, the administration is trying to sane-wash this all of a sudden. They're like, they got rid of that ridiculous human being, Bavino, who was heading up the ICE operations in Minneapolis. You look at the pictures of him online, look him up. He looks like a Gestapo officer, the way he dresses. And he's doing it on purpose to bait the liberal side, to bait those of us that do not want this to happen. Okay? And Tom Homan's no better. Talk about following the money, Pat.
$50,000 in a bag.
$50,000 in a kava bag
Cash.
was what he took in a sting operation.
Yeah.
He's a reprehensible human being. He was a government agent, a government representative who took a $50,000 bribe in a sting operation. And he still hasn't paid it back. He's been pardoned by the president. So once again, we come back to the lawlessness of this administration and everything they're doing. So you follow the hate that they have for the American way of life and for our freedoms, and you follow the money. Okay? And speaking of hate,
yes,
let's talk about Stephen Miller.
We haven't got enough time to cover him.
Yep. If you still don't know who Stephen Miller is, he's the assistant chief of staff in Trump's White House. And he looks like Pee Wee Herman, which is why he's nicknamed Pee Wee German. Because this guy makes Nazis look nice.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's the one that's driving all this racist rhetoric from the administration and driving the hateful things that ICE and the Border Patrol agents are doing to the American population.
He's a white nationalist.
Yeah.
He's the extreme of everything that this country's been against. He's the opposite. He's so far right. Okay, if what this country was born on, made of, lived on for 250 years, he is at the very end of the right side, just taking it off the cliff.
Well, he's the personality type that we fought in World War II. He may not be calling himself a Nazi, but he is a fascist through and through. Yeah. He wants you to submit or die. He's actually said it. So, we need to fight this administration with every peaceful tool that we have. I mean, you can see that there's division in the administration. In a way, what we're seeing is good because they're starting to fight with each other. Pam Bondi's about to lose her job, and she's in a pardon my French, a pissing match with Stephen Miller right now about how she's doing her job. He does not like how she's not more aggressively going after people with the law. And so, that tells us one nice thing. I mean, I guess somewhere inside of Pam Bondi, there's a soul.
Well, I don't know.
That she cares about a little bit.
Maybe.
Because she's not being as evil as he wants her to be.
If she gets under the bus, what is she going to be quiet?
Oh, yeah. Well, they love their beautiful blonde women until they don't do what they say.
I'm sorry.
And so, it's very, very important for us to stay as engaged as possible, right? And we need to realize something very quickly here, okay? Heather Cox Richardson, and if you're not listening to her, you should look her up. She has a couple of short things every day, but she said it bald-facedly on Saturday night. She said, this can end very quickly, overnight. All it takes is 23 Republicans. 23 congressional Republicans can change this, can fix it, can put us on the path to peace. And that is 3 in the House to pass articles of impeachment that can be sent to the Senate, and 20 senators. 20 Republican senators, 20 Republican House I'm sorry, not 20 Republican House members, 3 Republican House members. That's all it takes to fix this. So our country is literally being held hostage by 23 people. Now there's a lot more than that are okay with what's going on, because once again, they want us to submit to their rule or die. Okay? And so, this is tyranny. All right? The Republican Party is now a tyrannical organization. All right? And they have actually, admitted this, not in so many words, but through their actions. They want all of us, liberals, centrists, independents, to do what they say or die. And that's just not going to happen. Our founding fathers warned us about this. The only thing we can do is to stand up and stand out. We need to be visible in our resistance to this. So, to quote from the book On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder, Chapter 8, stand out. Someone has to. It's easy to follow along. It can feel strange to do or say anything different. But without that unease, there is no freedom. Remember Rosa Parks. The moment you set an example, the spell of the status quo is broken, and others will follow.
And on top of that, Thomas Jefferson said, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. Duty meaning we have to do something, we have to keep doing something until we get back to the country that we were, which is going to take a while, but do something. Duty. You now have a duty with what they've created, a tyranny situation in this country. It's up to us, the people, to make sure that it goes away and it gets back to a country of the people, by the people, and for the people.
And the only way we get there is that the people make their voices heard.
Yep.
So it is so important, especially as we come up to this looming shutdown. You need to write all of your senators and congresspeople. Call them. It is a very simple and easy thing to do. Pat and I are going to curate a list of all senators and House of Representative members and their emails. And all you'll have to do is grab that list, drop their emails into a message, write one letter, and it will go out to all of them. Do a batch email. And so we're going to do the same thing eventually with the Georgia House and the Georgia Senate. We need to be more engaged with our representatives so they do what we expect them to do. And they know the voice of the majority of people. For too long, we've lived, especially since 2016, under the tyranny of the minority. Republicans are the minority. Just look at election results. We need to make sure that the majority is standing up loud, standing up proud, and making their voice heard. Help us with that, please.
Okay, a little piece of local announcement for people in the city of Woodstock. Friday is a breakfast and a presentation by the mayor of Woodstock, Caldwell, on the state of the city. Breakfast is at 7:45 and the presentation at 8:15. Tickets are $15 each, and here is the link to register and pay you $15. Last year, the mayor took questions. I was there. He took questions at the end of the presentation. So it's a for those in the city of Woodstock, which also involves the whole town of Woodstock, the unincorporated town, from the standpoint of what affects them, as well as from the surrounding areas. It's important that you know what's going on, and if you have questions, participate in asking those questions, and then hopefully follow up by going to I believe they have a council meeting twice a month. You might want to tie into those, because there's a lot of things that you want to know that, again, applies to the general area, but it is being run by the city of Woodstock, which has got its own borders. But
which they keep expanding.
yeah, so I'm going to put that link.
Yeah, we'll put that link in the show notes along with some other links.
Yeah.
And we'll also post the link to the list of email addresses. If not in this episode, then in next week's episode.
And we're going to wrap it up with, so as not to get to the point where you get tired of listening to us, make your calls to your Georgia senators and to all the other senators. When you get the list from us, you certainly can call other senators in other states. You can call and email I did just the other day, the majority senator of the Senate. What's his name?
Thune. John Thune.
Yeah. I even called his office and gave him my peace of mind.
Republicans are the problem right now. So you need to of course, send messages to your representatives that are Democrats, but it's the Republicans that need the push. They need a bulldozer behind them.
But the Democrats have to keep the pressure on.
Yes, they do.
Even in with the Senate and the House.
They can't be folding.
Make your calls. Stop ICE. Stop them in their tracks. Take their money away from them, and then follow up by starting to put the pressure on the Epstein file. They can't let them pivot us any further than they already have. All right, I'm finished.
All right, Pat. Everyone, stay safe, get active, do what you can. The smallest thing. If 300 million of us do a small thing, it becomes a big thing.
Yep.
So do what you can. Okay. We love you all as our neighbors, and we hope you stay safe. Talk to you next week.